György Dózsa was a Hungarian commoner who led a rebellion against the ruling aristocracy in the early 16th century. His story is one of bravery, determination, and tragedy, as his uprising ultimately resulted in his brutal execution and the suppression of the Peasant rebellion. Born around 1470, Dózsa grew up in Transylvania. From a young age, he was attracted to the military career and, following in his father's footsteps, he later joined the army. At this time, the Ottoman Empire achieved the peak of its power and their conquests extended well into southern and central Europe. According to chroniclers and historians, on February 28, 1514, Dózsa fought a duel with Epirus Ali, a notorious Turkish cavalryman whom no one could defeat up to that point. Dózsa triumphed over the Turk by cutting off his right arm with his sword. To honor Dózsa's bravado, King Vladislaus II raised him into the rank of nobility and granted him land and money. He also allowed him to add a bleeding cut-off arm holding a sword onto his family coat of arms. At around the same time, Pope Leo X ordered the Hungarian Archbishop Tamás Bakóc to start a crusade against the Turks. He also promised forgiveness to the recruits and excommunication for those who obstructed the crusade. The Hungarian nobles were not happy with the papal decree because they were reluctant to release their serfs from their farming duties. On April 16, 1514, Bakóc commissioned Dózsa to lead the military campaign and to recapture the jewel of Eastern Christianity, Constantinople. By mid-May, an army of about 40,000 peasants and friars, armed with scythes and flails, gathered under the Crusader flags. On May 10, 1514, the troops led by Dózsa set off south towards Croatia to clash with the Turks. But during the next few days, the mood of the peasants changed significantly. They realized that, due to the harsh anti-peasant laws of the recent years and their exploitation by the landlords, their common enemy was not the Turks, but the nobility. The bitter and angry peasant masses started looting the mansions of the nobles, first in the vicinity of Pest and then further away as they were proceeding to the southern areas. Following the complaints of more and more nobles about the widespread pillaging, the Archbishop revoked the recruitment and called off the military campaign on May 24th. The landlords ordered their serfs to return to the fields. But the orders came too late. By this time, the tension among the peasant soldiers reached a tipping point. The crusade turned into a large-scale uprising led by Dózsa. Dózsa's plan was to make the uprising nationwide and to force the decision-makers to withdraw the laws curtailing the peasants' rights. The conflict quickly escalated into a full-scale war, with both sides committing atrocities against each other. Despite the odds against him, Dózsa remained resolute in his determination to fight for his people's rights. Under his leadership, the rebels scored several early victories against the nobility, capturing castles and burning down estates. However, Dózsa made a big mistake following his victory at Nagylak. He did not proceed with the mobilization of nearby Transylvania. Although the people there started their own uprising, it was unorganized and belated. Dózsa and his troops did not suffer any major defeat until the Battle of Temesvár. But on July 15, 1514, the army of Transylvanian voivode János Szapolyai defeated the insurgents in a major battle. Dózsa was taken prisoner together with his brother Gergely. They were subjected to a horrific punishment for their role in the rebellion. According to the records of the time, György Dózsa was first crowned with a fiery iron, then, while he was still alive, his soldiers were forced to tear his naked body apart with their own teeth. Before his gruesome death, he had to witness his brother's sufferings, whose body was cut into 4 parts and then hung on the gallows. Following the suppression of the insurrection, the parliament approved Verbőci's tripartite legislation, which consolidated the laws pertaining to the burdens of the peasants. Some of the new laws imposed on the serfs included an increased obligation to pay tribute to their lords, the interdiction to carry weapons, and the curtailment of free movement. Today, Dózsa is remembered as a courageous fighter for peasant rights and freedoms. His memory is honored in the works of prominent Hungarian writers and poets such as József Eötvös, Sándor Petőfi, or Endre Ady. Schools, streets, and squares are named after him, and his sculptures are scattered all around Hungary and Transylvania. Although Dózsa's uprising ultimately led to a crackdown on peasant rights and the strengthening of the nobility's power in Hungary, his courage left a lasting legacy of resistance against oppression that inspired future generations to fight for their freedom.